أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome everybody to Friday's class, the end of week 3. Today we are going to be moving on onto Surah Al-Qari'ah, known as the Great Calamity. Chapter number 101 comprises 12 verses altogether. And we won't be learning any new rules today, but we're going to focus on correct reading and applying all the rules that we've learned so far and ensuring that our pronunciation is correct, our timing is correct, and all the other things that we've been taught. Okay, so without further ado, if I may have a student to the class, to the mic, to read the opening dua, please.
Yes. That's A7406.
Assalamu alaikum, A7406.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, darling. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I am very well. Jazakumullah. If you could just bear with me. Student A7411, could you possibly take your video off, please? Jazakumullah. Okay, sweetheart. So if we can start with the Tawud and Tasmiyah, and we will be reading this dua here, okay, from there onwards, which is Friday's dua. So if you could repeat with me, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim.
Bismillahir rahmanir rahim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay, well done. Okay. Rabbana taqabbal minna.
Rabbana taqabbal minna.
Innaka antas sami'ul alim.
Innaka antas sami'ul alim.
MashaAllah, very, very nice. And the English translation underneath from here, please.
Our Lord, accept from us, for you are all hearing, all knowing.
And it's from?
Surah Al-Baqarah.
Yep, and verse number?
128.
Fantastic. Jazakumullah for your help. And we will, inshallah, call you back to the mic to do some Quranic recitation.
Okay.
Allah Hafiz for now.
Allah Hafiz.
Okay, so if I could just point out one thing which I've noticed with lots of students, everybody says Jazakallah, which is a very standard default for everybody to go to. But in Arabic, when you say Jazakallah, you only actually are able to say that to somebody who's a male, so to a boy or to a man. When you're saying Jazakallah, but it's a girl or a woman that you're speaking to, addressing, you should actually say Jazakillah, okay? Or you could say Jazakumullah, which covers both genders, and it also applies to groups as well. So Jazakallah to a boy, Jazakillah to a girl or a woman, and Jazakumullah to groups of people, whether they're all male or all female. And Jazakumullah is also just a little bit more respectful as well. Okay, so if I could have a student to the mic, I'd like them to go through the rules, please.
Yes, that's A7382.
Assalamu alaikum, A7382.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, darling. How are you?
Okay.
Alhamdulillah. Okay then, darling. Would you please go through the rules of the class, please, starting from here?
Please ensure you are in wuzu. Head should be covered. Please check video icon has a red line across it. Please do not use raise hand unless asked by a teacher. Please listen for your ID and be ready if teacher calls you. Please check you have logged in with your correct ID. Look in participant list to see if you can find yourself. Change to your correct ID by using rename facility. Otherwise, do not mess around with the ID. Only correct IDs will be called to mic. Make sure you are in quiet place where you can hear. Always listen to everything in class, whether you are on mic or not. A parent or elder should ideally be with you. Any questions, issues, contact info@nqc.org.uk.
MashaAllah. Jazakumullah for that lovely reading. Jazakumullah. Allah Hafiz for now. And we will call that student back for Quranic recitation at some point.
Yep.
Okay, Allah Hafiz, darling. Yes, as the young Diful just did say, wuzu, you must be in wuzu and your head should be covered, whether it's with a dopi, if you're a member of Atfal, or you're a young Nasrat and you should be wearing a scarf. You must not raise your hand unless you're asked by the teacher. And something that's really important is please listen for your ID. I've noticed all through the week that people are called to the mic and there's nothing wrong with their mic because you can hear whatever's going on, but they're just not paying attention. Maybe they're not even sitting at the screen, which is such a shame because you're missing out on learning, and it also uses up a lot of time in the class wasted because we're not teaching. And now I'm going through the rule and explaining it again. So it's using up time that we could actually be teaching. So please do bear these rules in mind. They're there for a reason. Okay, so today we will be going through the chapters that you should have been practicing last week at the weekend. Chapters that we did go through Monday to Friday last week. Okay, so these ones here. And if I could have a student to the mic.
Yes, N8403.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, darling. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, I am very well. Jazakumullah for asking. Okay, sweetheart, so I'm going to ask you to read this surah with me, or for me, okay? And I'd like you to tell me before you read, this lam here is a lam mushaddad. Do you need to read that thick or thin?
Thin.
Thin, because do you know why?
No.
You're right. Okay, it's read thin because this is the word Allah. When you see the word Allah, you go to the stroke that's just before. If it's underneath, as is the case here, a kasra or a kasratain, okay, then it stays thin. If the stroke was on top, then this lam would become thick, okay? So you're quite right. This is a thin lam. But when you're reading by yourself and you're reading the Quran Majid, you should know when to make it thin, when to make it thick, okay? So well done for getting that right. Tell me, this ra, is that a thick ra or a thin ra?
Would it be thin?
Okay, what is this stroke on the top?
A fatha.
It's a fatha. If you see a ra with a stroke on the top, whether it's a fatha or a dhamma, fathatain or a dhammatain, the ra is thick, okay? So if the stroke is on top, it's a thick ra, okay? So this ra will be what?
Thick.
Thick ra, yes, because it has a stroke on the top. So again here, it's a ra, the stroke is on the top, so therefore this is a thick ra, okay?
Okay.
Okay, well done. Now then, tell me, in this verse that ends here, can you spot any thick letters?
Yes.
Which one, darling?
The ra.
The ra. Well done. Yes. Any others? There's at least, there's two more.
Ain.
Okay, there is no ayn in here, okay, what do you think this letter will be? Do you think that's a thick letter?
Yes.
It's a sad, it's a thick letter. Well done. There is one more thick letter. Can you see it along here? Maybe along here somewhere? Yeah, you're about, yes. Okay, this is the word Allah, okay? So when you see this word, you look at the stroke just before, which happens to be a dhamma. And that dhamma decides that this lam is a thick lam, okay? So there's a thick letter, there's a thick letter, and this lam is thick as well, okay? Okay, so that's just to point out to you that you know these rules, we've been teaching them, but when you read, before you start reading, have a think about how you're going to be reading, okay? Okay, sweetheart, so now enough of that. Let's start with the Dawood and then read this surah for me, and then I will give you some feedback.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر إنه كان توابا.
Well done, mashallah. A very nice recitation, a general all-round, very nice recitation. One thing I want to pick up on is أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Okay, give them as much importance as you do any of the other verses. If you notice, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim has a verse number. As MDs, we count Bismillah, which happens at the beginning of every chapter, well, except for one, okay? Yeah, okay. As a verse in its own right, okay? So therefore, don't rush through this. I know it's said many, many times, but it's an important part of the Quran. It's a verse within the Quran itself, so never rush through it, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so as you were reading, here, I didn't hear this Hamza. Okay, so you went from Idha Ja, and then it seemed to me that you went straight to the Nas. One more time.
إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح.
Well done. And this time you actually did a thick Ra and a thick La. Here, when you read it, and this is something I noticed with quite a few students this week, you went Waray. Okay, the Ra has a Fatha on top, so it's Wara, and then this Alif and this Ya make an A sound. So when you read this, it's Wara-A, okay? Wara-A, not Waray. So one more time, darling.
ورأيت الناس.
Well done. Okay, so read the whole verse.
ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا.
Okay, well done. Okay, tell me, what is this stroke? I've just highlighted there.
فتحة.
It is. So when we read it, how should we read the scene with the fatha?
Sa.
Well done. Okay. So when you read it, you may not have noticed, but you said si, as if there was a kasra there. Okay. So always make sure that you're reading a little bit slower and that you look at what you're reading. Okay. Because it's quite easily done to read something incorrectly. Here, I've highlighted here this lam. Tell me, this lam, should it be thick or thin?
Thin.
Thin, that's right, because
It has
just before it, a kasra, yes, there's a kasra just before, so that means that the lam stays thin. So when you read it as thin, okay? So read from fi.
في دين الله أفواجا.
Okay, well done. So when you do a thin lam, okay, smile. So fi dinillahi.
في دين الله.
Well done. Okay, so one more time that whole verse up to ja.
From إذا جاء.
No, from this wa here.
في دين الله أفواجا.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, when you were reading the next bit, this ha that's been highlighted here has a sukoon on the top. Okay, this ha gets joined on to the ba that happens just before. So how would you read just this bit here?
فسبح.
Okay, so what you've done is you've done fasabbi, and you've done the tashdid really, really well. You've pressed down just right, okay? But this bar also joins onto this ha, okay? So you have to say bih, fasabbih.
فسبح.
Well done, okay? So have a read up to here now, from there.
فسبح بحمد ربك بحمد ربك واستغفر.
Well done. Okay, so repeat with me, darling. Fasabbih bihamdi rabbika wastaghfir. Fasabbih.
فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر.
Well done. Okay, here there's a fa and there's a ra, and they join. And when we revise the waqf rules, you'll realize that this ha also joins in with the sound. Okay, so it becomes fir, and you have to pronounce the fa, ra, and the ha sound. Okay. On top of the ha, there is, what is this stroke here?
Is it a vertical dhamma?
Okay, well done. Okay, I understand why you said that. Inverted dhamma is how we refer to it. Why? Because it looks like a dhamma that's been flipped around and turned upside down, which is another way of saying inverted. Okay, so yes, here is a vertical fatha, and I can't see an example of a vertical kasra. So I can understand why you say a vertical dhamma, but this is an inverted dhamma. How many seconds do we give to that?
Is it 2 seconds?
It is indeed, yes. So read this and make sure you give that 2 seconds, darling.
إنه كان توابا.
Well done. Okay. When you finish here, yeah, make the bar 2 seconds as well, okay? Innahu kana tawwaba.
إنه كان توابا.
Well done. Very, very nice general reading, okay? Just some fine tuning, which is actually why you're on the course, okay? So that you can apply all of the rules. Jazakumullah for a lovely recitation. Allah Hafiz for now.
Hafiz.
If I may have another student to the mic.
Yes, that's A7394.
Assalamu alaikum. A7394. Okay, another student, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, sweetheart. So, let me just move some things off my screen here. Okay, so let me look through here. Okay, in here, same things as I've just said to the other young student. Pay attention to all of the timings, okay? Now, here, okay, when we come to read this, you might think that this alif is an alif madda. And the reason you would think that is because there is a dhamma before it. And that, a fatha before it. And an alif madda is defined as an alif that comes after a letter that carries a fatha. So you might be thinking that this is an alif madda. and your logic would be correct, except that the meaning here is different. Okay, the way that if you know Arabic, you will know that the meaning here is not what an alif madda describes. So for that reason, we don't read this alif. Okay, now Arabic isn't our native language, so most of us in the class will not know exactly what we're reading here, not until we've practiced a lot and then looked at maybe the translations. But for now, just understand that there are, I think, 41 places in the Holy Quran where such an occurrence occurs, and this is one of them. You do not read this as an alif madda, you just do wala ana. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, then, Shiha. Have a go at reading this whole surah, starting with Dawood. And remember to take your time with Dawood and Tasmi as well.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنا عابد ما.
Start again from here, darling. From here.
I can't really see this line because of this, like the IDs on the side.
Can you not minimize those IDs?
No.
You can't? Okay, so hang on. Bear with me. Does that make it better? I can make it. Is that a little bit better?
Yeah.
Can you, okay,
Yeah.
all right then. Have a go at that then. Read it from the
ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد لكم دينكم ولي دين.
MashaAllah, very, very nice. Okay, so very, very nice. Okay, so I think that here you didn't read full, and that's probably because maybe you weren't able to see it.
Okay.
You started straight from the ya. Full was the first bit, but I assume that you couldn't see.
Yeah.
Okay, this lam is a thin lam, okay, because there's a kasra before. So when you read it, smile. Bismillah.
Bismillah.
Well done. Okay, so if you smile, then you'll find that that naturally just becomes thin. Okay, so let's have a look at your ayns. Okay, here, la a'budu.
La a'budu.
Well done. A'budu.
A'budu.
Well done. Ta'bu. Okay, when you read this, I didn't hear that this was a bu. I'm forgetting exactly how you read it, but there is a dhamma on the top, so this will make a bu sound. La a'budu ma ta'budun.
La a'budu ma ta'budun.
Well done. Okay. Okay, and same here, your ayns. Okay. So if I was to read from here, ma a'bud.
Ma a'bud.
Well done. Okay. Do you know something about a dal? Is it one of those letters that you have to do something special to when it's a sakin dal?
Don't you have to do a jerking sound?
You do indeed. Okay. Now this dal has a dhamma on the top. Okay. And we will at in some point very soon start looking at waqf, pausing, and how you make decisions about what to do when you pause. When we pause on this dal, which we will do because it happens to be at the end of a verse, the dhamma physically will stay in the grammar Majid, obviously, but how you read it will be as a dal sakin. When it's a dal sakin, it's a kalkala letter. So we do a little bit of a bounce. Bud.
Abud.
Well done. Okay, so think about the dal sound and how that is made. Okay, just say dal and think about what your tongue is doing. So say dal.
Dal.
Okay, so the tip of your tongue went up to the bridge of your mouth, just behind your front two teeth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. A7365, you may request remote control as many times as you like, but you will be declined. If you could possibly stop asking, okay? Right, okay. So the dal is made by the tip of your tongue touching the top of your mouth, okay? When you pause, you make that same sound, but take the tongue off fairly quickly, and that will make you give out the bouncing sound. Bud.
Abud.
Okay, just take the tongue off the tip of your mouth after you've made the sound, okay? Bud.
Abud.
Okay, have a practice at that, okay? The bouncing sound will happen when the tongue touches the bridge of your mouth and then flicks off again, okay? If you leave it there, it will become a dead sound, bud, okay?
Abud.
But what you want to do is flick the tongue off, bud.
Okay.
Okay, well done. Here, okay, then here this ba, next to it is a dal sakin, but next to it is a ta with a tashdid on the top, mushaddad ta. Now, if ever you come across this sort of situation where there's a sakin letter followed straight by a mushaddad, think of it that the mushaddad is stronger than the sakin and it takes over. So what you will do is you'll join the ba and the ta together and ignore the dal, okay? So this will be read as abattum.
Abattum.
Well done. Okay. And here again, it was your ayn sound, okay? Bud.
Abud.
Well done. Okay. Otherwise, very, very nice reading. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to focus on your ayn and also your qalqala. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. MashaAllah. Jazakumullah. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Okay. So one more student, please.
Yep. That's N8380.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, darling. Okay, so you're going to read this particular surah, okay? And in here, I want you to tell me, in this first verse, which starts here and ends here, tell me all of the thick letters. I can see one.
Ain.
Okay, so ayn is not a thick letter. Okay, ghain with the dot on the top, that is a thick letter. Okay, here ta is a thick letter. In this next verse, which ends here, are there any thick letters there?
Sa.
Sod, yeah. Are there any others?
Ra.
Well done, yes. Ra is sometimes thick, sometimes thin. Is thick if the stroke is on top, which it is here. Fantastic. In this last verse here, are there any thick letters?
No.
No? Okay. This ra, when we pause on it, will become a ra sakin, but the letter before it carries a fatha. So then the ra is a thick sound as well. Okay? So that's just something that you need to be aware of. Tell me something about this ba. What would we...
It's kalkala.
It is indeed. Well done, because it has a sukoon on the top, so it is one of the 5 letters of qalqala. Okay, sweetheart, so if you could read the whole surah for me, please. Start with Dawood and Tasmiyah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانهر إن شانئك هو الأبتر.
MashaAllah, very, very nice reading indeed. Lovely melody, very nice voice, application of all the rules. And I feel almost mean just to point out that here, this noon, you could have done the nasal sound just a touch longer, darling, yeah? Inna.
Inna.
Well done, okay? I know that you have to have some breath, okay? In order to be able to do it for 2 seconds here, and then there's a mud coming afterwards, so you have to do another 3 seconds. But try and have a practice, because when you do that, then it makes it almost perfect. Mashallah, lovely reading of your thick letters as well, okay? Very, very nice. Lovely recitation. Jazakumullah.
Jazakallah.
Okay, then, Allah Hafiz for now. Okay, so let's now revisit the things that we've been doing this week so that we can remind ourselves. On Monday, you were taught about what in Arabic is known as Ikhfa Mim Sakin. That is when you make a light nasal sound upon seeing a Mim Sakin. How do you know when to make this sound? What you do is whenever you see a Mim Sakin, always look at the next letter. Is it a ba? If it is, then you do a 2-second light nasal sound. You see a Mim Sakin, look at the next letter. If it's a ba, then you do a 2-second light nasal sound. The way to make that sound is you take the dry parts of your lips to make the Mim sound, and then you just roll them out to join the wet parts of your lips to make the ba sound. And then anybody who, if you were to do a tilawat competition, anybody who's judging would be able to tell, should be able to tell whether you formed the sounds properly or not, okay? Because the Mim sounds different if you make it with the wet parts of your lips. And then when you do have to do what is known as Ikhfa Mim Sakin, it becomes quite difficult to make the sound properly. So do try and learn this particular method of making the sounds, okay? A demonstration will be أَخْلَامُهُمْ بِهَذَا هُمْ بَارِزُونَ. Okay, so that was what you did on Monday. On Tuesday, you learned about idgham qamid, which is, well, you weren't actually taught it, you were revising it because it's something we taught in G1. Whenever you see a noon sakin, look at the next letter. In fact, every time you see noon sakin, you're always going to have to look at the next letter, because how you read noon sakin basically will always depend on what the next letter is. Is it a la mushaddad or a ra mushaddad? If it is, then the noon sakin sound is clear. You make absolutely no nasal sound. You don't make any sort of ghunna sound. You don't press down on the noon at all. You read it as if the noon is not there. So what happens is, there's a mim, there's a noon. You might normally think that you join the min together. There's a la mushaddad, so you might think, oh, it's min la. But it isn't, because according to this rule, you look at a noon sakin, you look at the next letter, which happens to be a la mushaddad, then you make no nasal sound. So what happens here is you read it as milladunka, milladunka. So here, underneath, it's been written as it would be read, how it sounds, okay? In Arabic, the way that the grammar is, the noon is written there. But when you read it, it's as if the noon isn't there. Similarly here, you see a noon sakin, you look at the next letter. It happens to be a ra mushaddad. So you join the mim to the ra. Mir rabbihim, mir rabbihim. Okay, and underneath has been written how the sounds are. Notice that there's no noon sound. Okay, so that's one thing with Izgam Kamil when it's a noon sakin. Same thing applies if you see a tanveen. Okay, if you see a tanveen, you look at the next letter. If it's la mushaddad or ra mushaddad, then again, you make no nasal sound. But what you do is you treat the tanveen as if it's a single stroke. So this dhammatain, you treat it as if it's a dhamma. Okay, same thing here. If that had been a fathatain, you would treat it as a single fatha. If that had been a kasratain, you would treat it as a single kasra. Okay, and the way you would read it is khayrul lakum. Okay, no noon sound. And you can see underneath, this is how it actually sounds. This is how it would be written if it was written the way it sounds. Similarly here, Ra'ufur Rahim, no noon sound whatsoever. And you can see underneath, this is how it would be written if it was written the way it sounds. Okay. Also on Tuesday, you were reminded about the miniature meme. Some of you might know this as meme makluba. Sometimes in the Holy Quran, you will see a little mini-sized meme. It will look much smaller than the rest of the writing, so you shouldn't get confused as in a meme that is written as part of the text. You'll only ever see this meme after a noon sakin or a tanveen and before a ba. When you see the meme, you change the noon sakin or the tanveen sound to a meme and read with a light nasal sound. So here, there is a noon sakin, straight after is a ba, and there's this miniature meme that's been written there to remind you. So what you do is you read the ba'ahum, ba'ahum. Similarly here, there is a tanveen there. Okay, there's a ba afterwards. That's why you've got this little meme sitting there. Alimum bidati. No noon sound. Okay, and then on Wednesday we just consolidated all of our rules. Okay, so please do revise these things that you were taught during the week when you apply them to your recitation at the weekend. Okay, so let's move on to the surah of the day, which is Qariyah. Okay, and I've highlighted in here kalkala letters. There's a dal sakin here, a ba sakin here. Okay, we need to do kalkala there. Here is a noon sakin. Whenever you see a noon sakin, you have to look at the next letter to know how to read that noon sakin. In this case, there's a noon sakin. We look at the next letter. Is it mushaddad? Is it a ba? No. Is it one of those letters that is known as a letter of ishar, which in this case it isn't? Then we do a light nasal sound. Manfush. Okay. Similarly here, we've got noon sakin. We have to look at the next letter in order to know how to read this. Here is the tanveen. We have to look at the next letter to know what to do with the tanveen. Here is a noon sakin. We have to look at the next letter in order to know what to do with this noon. And that's why it's really important that you learn all the thick and heavy sounds, okay? Those 7 letters. You also learn, which is the homework from, I think, a couple of weekends ago or last weekend, the letters that cause a noon sakin to be clear. And that will be part of your homework again today. Okay, if I can ask the support teacher to read through this surah one time, please.
Yes, sure. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم القارعة ما القارعة وما أدراك ما القارعة يوم يكون الناس كالفراش المبثوث وتكون الجبال كالعهن المنفوش فأما من ثقلت موازينه فهو في عيشة راضية وأما من خفت موازينه فأمه هاوية وما أدراك ما هي نار حامية.
MashaAllah. Well done. Jazakumullah. If I may have a student to the mic, please.
Yes, that's A7392.
Assalamu alaikum. A7392.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, darling. Okay, sweetheart, if you can start with the Dawood and the Tasmiyah, and if you could read initially just to hear.
Sorry, I can't see.
Okay, so can you not see the screen at all, or?
No. Sorry. Now I see.
Okay.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم القارئات ما القارئة وما لا أدراك ما القارئة.
Okay, well done. Okay, so let's go through here, okay? Read this whole verse one more time. From here.
Al-Qari'at.
Okay. Sweetheart, let me just take that away. Okay. Right, let me just take that away. Okay. This letter here, tell me what this is.
Is it Ka?
Okay, I'm asking the question. You tell me. What is it?
Ka.
Yes. It's a thick and heavy sound. So make the sound by taking the back of your tongue, take it like to try and touch that, you know, that little dangly bit at the back of your throat. Almost as if you're touching that, yeah? Off.
Al-Qaf.
Well done. Well done. That's exactly right. How to read that. What is this letter here?
It's a law. It's a.
Okay.
Law.
All right. That's no worry. Don't worry. Let me just show you. Okay. So I don't know whether it's in this lesson. No. Okay. Let me see if I can just bear with me for a second. This is such a common thing with students. Okay, so it's not in this lesson here, but let me go back here. Okay, when you see this, some students will think that this is a lam. Okay, this is not a foolproof method, okay, but an alif never joins onto the next letter. An alif will join onto a letter before sometimes, but it never joins onto another letter, okay? A lam always does, okay? But here is a lam, and it looks like a straight line, same as this one. You just need to sort of learn that when it's a lam, there will be something that will come round, okay? Even if it doesn't join on, it will come round, okay? So
Okay.
this happens to be an alif. Okay, this happens to be not just an ordinary alif, an alif madda, because there's a fatha just before it. So have another go at reading this, please.
Al-Qari'at.
Okay, well done. Okay, so this here is a ta al-marbuta. And when we pause, this will become a ha. Okay, a ha sakin. Again, waqf rules will be getting onto shortly, so you haven't revised those yet. So we are going to pause at this verse. We are going to follow Sunnah and we're going to pause at this verse. So we have to pronounce this as a ha. So this is how you would read this. Al-Qari'ah.
Al-Qari'ah.
Okay. Oh, try and get a thick sound, okay? Al-Qari'ah.
Al-Qari'ah.
Well done, okay? Now, tell me in this verse, what is this letter here?
It's a alif.
It is indeed, yes, okay? Now, this meme and this lam sakin will join. So what we do is we say mal, okay? Everything in between we join because this lam sakin has to join to something that comes before it and something that comes before it with a stroke. The nearest thing happens to be this meme. So that's why this meme and this lam will join. Mal-qari'ah.
Mal-Qari'ah.
Well done. And have a read of this next verse with me. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْقَارِئَةُ.
وَمَا لَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْقَارِئَةُ.
Okay, what is this letter here?
It's an alif.
Well done. What is this letter here?
That's an alif.
Is indeed, okay? There's no lam there, okay? وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ
أَدْرَاكَ.
meme and this lam sakin will join. Mal-qari'ah.
Mal-Qari'ah.
Well done. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to revise how to recognize a lam and distinguish that from an alif. Okay, you also need to practice on your timings. Okay, 2 seconds for vertical strokes, 1 second for single strokes. Okay, and the third thing is to practice on your thick sounds. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, then Jazakumullah. Allah Hafiz. If I may have
Allah
another
Hafiz.
student, Allah Hafiz. Another student.
Yes. Can we have N8398?
N8398. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, another student.
Yes. Can we have N8406?
N8406. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, darling. Okay, sweetheart, I would like you to read from here to here initially, and so a general rule would be that when you read Quranic recitation, you must always do the Dawood, the A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. Always read that, okay? When you first start reciting, you should do Bismillah, okay? But if you then have to pause because somebody is speaking to you and you have to disturb your recitation, when you come back to it, you can read A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim, but you don't have to read the Bismillah, okay? So that's just a general rule. If you can read with the Dawood and the Tasmiyah, because you're just doing it for the first time here, from here to here.
Okay. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Yawma yakunu nunnasu qalna rasul mabsar.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, well done. Yo, okay, because this happens to be a wow lean. Yawma.
Yawma.
Well done. What is this letter here?
Is it a ya?
It is indeed 2 dots underneath. And what stroke does it carry?
A fatha.
Which is for 1 second, yeah? So, yawmaya.
Yawmaya.
Well done. Gaf, followed by with a dhamma, followed by a waw sakin. Because this is a waw sakin and there's a dhamma before it, this is now a waw madda. So we read this for 2 seconds. Well done. Yes. Yawma yaku.
Yawma yaku.
Okay. Noon here, joining onto a noon mushaddad. So we're going to do a 2-second nasal sound. Nunna.
Nunna.
Well done. Yawma yakununna.
Yawma yakununna.
Well done. One more time. Yawma yakununna.
Yawma yakununna.
Well done. Su.
Su.
Okay, here we have a kaf with a fatha. It's going to join onto this lam. Kal.
Qal.
Well done. Sukal.
Sukal.
Fa.
Fa.
Ra.
Ra.
Sukal fara.
Sukal fara.
Well done. Make this thick, darling, yeah, because it carries a fatha. Sukal fara.
Sukal fara.
Well done. So let's go back. Yawma yakunun nasu kal fara.
Yawma yakunun nasu kal nara.
Okay. See this letter here. Let me see if I can just get rid of the.
It's a
Okay,
fa.
here. It's a fa. Okay. Why is it a fa? Because it carries a dot on the top. But there are other letters like a noon that also carry a dot on the top. But this has this circly bit here, okay? This circly bit here. That tells you this is a fa, okay? So, kal fara.
Kal fara.
Okay. Sheen with the kasra, but there's this lam sakin. This lam sakin has to join with something that comes before it, but that something must carry a stroke. The nearest letter happens to be this sheen with the kasra. So those are the letters that will join. Things in between will get ignored. Shil.
Shil.
Well done. Kal fara shil.
Kal fara shil.
Mabthuth.
Mabthuth.
Well done. Well done. Yawma yakunun nasu kal farashil mabthuth.
Yawma yakul nunnasu kal farashil mabshuth.
Okay, one more time, slowly, yeah? Yawma yaku.
Yawma yaku.
Nunnasu.
Nunnasu.
Now join. Yawma yakunun nasu.
Yawma yakunun nasu.
MashaAllah. Kal fara.
Kal fara.
Shil mabthuth.
Shil mabthuth.
Okay, and one more time. Yo, and take your time, yeah? Yawma yakunun nasu kal farashil mabthuth.
Yawma yakul nunnasu kul farasul mabthuth.
Okay. So you are precisely the student that we aim at, okay? Everybody who's on the course is of varying abilities, okay? So some people do know how to read and they're here to really refine their rules. Welcome, okay? But you're precisely the student that we're aiming at, okay? So don't feel that, you're struggling. When you read, do it as I just did. And this is for all students who are reading for the first time and trying to understand that they're looking at letters, trying to understand what those letters are, what are the strokes, how do they join. There's a lot of things that you're coping with. But the way to do it is do it step by step as I just did. One at a time, okay? Yo, yoma, yoma yaku, and so on, okay? Take it bit by bit, and you may find that doing few verses will take a long time, but that's fine, okay? That's fine, because when you've practiced that, the next few verses will take less time because you've actually put the practice in and you've understood, okay? So practice is really vital, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, then sweetheart, Jazakumullah for your time. Allah Hafiz. Okay, so we've now come to the end of our class, and I would like to give everybody their homework. Today is Friday. We reached this surah today, and we would like you to practice reading this surah tonight and make sure that you ensure correct reading. One thing that I would like everybody to pay close attention to is when they're reading this bit here and this bit here and this bit here, okay? Ri-ah. Make sure that there's no ya that you put in between. It's very common for people to read it as riyah. A ya naturally just comes in, but there is no ya written in there. So when you practice ri, very distinct, ri-ah. Same here and same here. Okay, for the weekend, the chapters that we covered this week, Al-Fil, Al-Humza, Al-As, Al-Tagathur, and Al-Qariya, please read through them, practice, take your time if you're struggling, because that's how you're going to learn how to apply all those rules. Practice those over the weekend. And inshallah, next week we can listen to you reading and give you some feedback. It is really important that if you don't already know, that you do please memorize your thick letters. There are 7 of them. You can find them in lesson 2, page 33. You also need to know this homework here is a repeat of a previous weekend's, because we've noticed that some of the children are not able to tell us what those letters are. Memorize the jerking letters, also known as Qalqala letters. You'll find them in lesson 25, page 113. Now, there's a lot of information on the screen. If you've got a phone, take a photograph, because that'll be a quick way of noting it down. Memorize when a meme sakin is a light nasal sound. That's in lesson 25, exercise 25.17, page 116. A meme sakin is light nasal sound when it is followed by a ba. Okay? Remember, timing is extremely important. Pronunciation is extremely important, because if you time things wrong or you read them incorrectly, you quite possibly change the meaning, which is something that you don't want to do, because you are reading the words of Allah and you are being told how best to lead your life. Okay. If I may have a student to the mic to read the closing dua.
Yes, that's N8402.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, darling. So okay. If I may have one of the support teachers to share their screen with the end dua. I don't.
Sorry, I don't have the end dua out.
Okay, all right then. Bear with me for a second. Let me just Okay, yes, you can see?
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. If I may have a student.
Yes, that's N8402.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Okay, sweetheart. If you could repeat after me. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim.
Bismillahir rahmanir rahim.
Bismillahir rahmanir rahim.
Allahumma arhamni bil Qur'anil azim.
Allahumma arhamni bil Qur'anil azim.
And the translation.
Allah, have mercy on me through the great Quran.
Jazakumullah. Allah Hafiz for now. Jazakumullah to all of our students for attending the class and being with us all week. I hope and pray that you have learned something today and that you can go into the weekend to practice the chapters of the week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.